Reverend Don Lewis, coming to you from the beautiful metaverse, and more specifically from beautiful Danville, Illinois, homeland of the Correllian tradition. And this is Midday with Reverend Don. Welcome. And if you follow Midday with Reverend Don, you will know that you can type your question or comment onto whatever platform you're watching on if you're watching live. And for the most part, it will show up here in our chat room. We don't have the overlay on today because we have a guest. And our guest is Krys Copeland. Hello, Krys.
Hi, Reverend Don. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, yesterday I was feeling a little bit sick, but today I'm feeling a lot better.
Good. And Krys, as always, is joining us from the Netherlands, where it's a totally different time of day.
Yes. 7 in the evening here, and the weather is super chilly outside. Let me do the conversion in my head on the temperature. About 50 degrees, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So not very warm for our almost end of the month of April.
It's noon here, and apparently 68 degrees, and very windy. So hopefully we won't have wind interrupting us, but it's been a very windy day.
Yeah, we've had some hail here earlier today, so we always get it in April. For some reason, always April.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I do have quite a few things going on here with Correllian Publishing.
Wonderful.
As many of you listening know, we just published Sarah Hartsong's Beltane Blessings and the Wisdom of Rhiannon book for upcoming Beltane, and this is a part of the Wheel of the Year series for preteens. And while that book has launched, we're actually preparing for the next one for Lunasa. And we have so far we have the myth ready for it. It's a retelling of the story of Lu and his stepmother, and how he creates the games that are celebrated every year at Lunasa.
Very good.
Yeah, so I'll share it with everybody here, just a bit of the mythology. Let's see. Yeah, so it starts here with the preface, and I can see that Sarah's actually actively working in the book right now. So some of this might change as she's going through it and adding more details and things like that. But here you can see the opening of the myth actually starts with Tiaotiu, which is Lu's stepmother. And the story actually is her story. And that's one of the most interesting things about this, is that while Lu is the one telling the story later on, here we have Lu telling that story. And he's this kind of trickster character here, with a lot of laughing and jokes as he tells his story, and he gives all his credit to his fostered mother.
Yes.
So, and as you can see, we've bolded some of these words here. We did this in the Beltane book as well. And this is so children, as they're reading through, they can learn new words. And if it's something they don't know the meaning of, they can find that word in the glossary.
That's wonderful.
One of the features that we're working on right now is embedding hyperlinks into the ebook version, so that kids don't even have to go to the end of the glossary and look it up. They can just click on the word and we'll take them to the glossary, to the listing for that word. So that's super helpful for beginner readers or struggling readers who may need a little bit of extra help.
Well, I have to say, when I was a child, I had a copy of the Arabian Nights.
One of my favorites.
And they did this same thing with words that they thought that their youthful readership would not be familiar with. And I love that. And I'm a great believer in expanding vocabulary whenever possible.
Absolutely.
That's why things like Grammarly hate me. But that's beside
Well, in this way, they don't have to have a separate dictionary or separate device or go pull up another screen. They can stay right there in the book and still have the meaning of it right there. So that's always a nice feature for any book that is made or designed for children readers.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so yeah.
sometimes it's good for adults too.
Yes, absolutely. I'm really excited about the book itself, as well as our Beltane one, which I'll actually share our latest photos of. Um, Sarah received her author copies today,
Oh, yeah.
and she took a few photos for us. So here is that photo, and here you can see Sarah with the cover, and right now we have the temporary cover art. This will be replaced by yours, Reverend Don,
Yep.
in time. But for right now, if you order it, you will get the this version of the artwork, which will be for a limited time only. So make sure you pick up your copies. You can have this cover, which will be only
A
limited.
collector's item.
Yeah, basically a collector's item at this point. And also, you can order from our website at CorrellianPublishing.com and use the code Beltane, spelled just as it is on the book here, Beltane 10. So Beltane 10, and you'll receive 10% off of the book itself. And you can order a spiral bound like Sarah is holding here. We also have paper bound or paperback books in the ebook version in PDF, EPUB, and KDP format. So be sure to check those out on our website. I'm really excited about this book. One of the
Yes,
greatest
indeed.
things about it was the guide for parents and children for understanding sexuality and gender diversity. And that was part 3 of the book. We are adding another guide for parents into part 3 of the Lunacy book, which will be about creating, the child can create their own custom coming of age ceremony. And Sarah gives lots of tips and advice for how to do that, for non-binary children as well as children who are boys or who identify as boys or girls, so that we can make sure all of our children in the pagan community feel included and feel like they have a place among us, even as they come of age, and especially as they come of age.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm very curious, Reverend Don, about the artwork that you're working on. I know that you're continuing that this evening. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're going about it, what your process is?
Um, well, it's very much the kind of artwork I normally do. It's done in alcohol marker, and arguably might be a little more subtle in style, which I would never have thought I would say about my artwork versus something else. But compared to the current cover, it might be a little more subtle. It's certainly a little bit less British public school. We want to say hello to Janet in the chat room. It's good to see you, Janet.
Hi, Janet. Good to see you.
I think I'm focusing a little bit more toward a hippie style aesthetic, for want of a better way to put it, or maybe a festival style aesthetic would be a better way to put it.
I think Sarah would much prefer that anyway. This was just something we could throw up there quickly before we got some really good quality artwork in the style that she likes. So, yeah,
And
very
hello to
appreciative to
Mary.
you. Hi, Mary. Good to see you.
You said
Now,
that
and
will be good.
yes, I'm very excited to see what this coming of age guide will look like. Certainly, there was nothing like this around, 20 years ago, or in my case, 30 years ago, for coming of age. And so it's nice to see that we're creating these resources for families, for children, for those who are going through life's journey, and we can use this Wheel of the Year series to help them grow in themselves and their spirituality and their path in this life.
Very good. I think that's a very, very useful material.
No, absolutely. I think if I would have had something like that as a teenager, some things in life would have been a lot easier, especially as a teenager
Oh,
dealing with
yes.
growing up and all of the stressors around that.
Well, if we look back toward the era when we each came of age, which are not the same era. um, in my case, it was when the dinosaurs were still ruling the earth. Um, but we didn't have a lot of resources. I mean, I came of age in the 70s, and there were some resources available, but you had to know where to get them, and from a family that was open to them, and it's just very different today. And people, I think, are a lot more knowledgeable, a lot more open-minded, and a lot more willing to deal with difference than people used to be. And hello to Martin in the chat room, and hello to Zane in the chat room. It's good to see you both.
Hi, Zane. Hi, Martin. Yeah, I'm really excited about these books in this series. It's been a lot of fun to work on them. They're one of my favorites so far. Another one from yours that we've just recently published, the book of astrology.
Yes.
It's doing very well. We're getting lots of positive comments about it and good reviews, and so we're very excited to see the community appreciate what we're putting out there
Hmm.
and finding it useful. So it's
Yes.
awesome to see.
It is. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Now, one of the other things that we're working on right now is broadening our offerings for psychic readings. And Reverend Don, you're our primary psychic on that. Although we do have a few others now. We have Reverend Mary Hawk and Reverend Brian Ellicott available for readings.
Hmm.
But I'm just very curious as to maybe you could share with the audience what your style is. How do you go about giving a reading for someone?
Well, it really depends on what people are looking for, because I do a number of different things. I do more things than I offer, but I offer tarot in particular and clairvoyance. And tarot and clairvoyance are two very different ways to approach a reading, and not so different at the same time. But in terms of your experience, they'll be different because one of them has a physical component and the other does not. Um, those are the two main types of reading that I do for present and future situations for people. I also do past life readings. I also do um, work with spirit guides and spirits in general, which is also available. And generally speaking, these are the things that I offer. So it's a matter of what people are looking for.
Yeah, and I thought it might be fun today to offer some quick readings for our viewers in the chat room. So if you have a question or would like Reverend Don to give you a reading, a cold reading, or draw a card for you, just pop into the chat, let us know,
Yeah,
and we'll do that.
we can do that.
Yeah. And to get started today, maybe we can start with a reading for myself. I'm very curious,
Okay.
actually, if you could do a reading for Correllian Publishing.
Well, the problem with doing that is that I'm directly involved with it, but I'll do it and we'll see what we get.
Okay.
The
Very
problem
excited to
with
see that.
reading for yourself or for things you're too directly involved in is that your hopes and fears can get in the way, but I'm usually pretty good about not doing that after all these years. So let's start with Correllian Publishing.
All right.
I am shuffling the cards. You can't see it because I'm too close to the camera, but I'm shuffling. Um, and we shall draw 3 cards. We've drawn Death, the
Well,
6
we
of
are going
Coins.
through a lot of changes.
Well, yeah. That's exactly what death is. It's change, development, transformation, followed by the 6 of Coins, which is receiving help or benefit from outside, um, can be help from a person, from an organization, or just in general. Can be the help of the universe in helping you to move forward. And the devil, which of course is worry about money and everything else, which always goes with any kind of enterprise.
Yes,
And let us draw 3
absolutely.
more cards. And we have the Fool, the Queen of Wands, and the Moon. So the Moon says, use your spiritual abilities, use your magic, use your connection to spirit to help you to move forward. Queen of Wands is being in a good position. And the Fool says that everything is possible. Everything that is wanted can be done. You just have to trust and step off that cliff. And so
Absolutely.
that's pretty positive.
Yeah. And in fact, as you were shuffling, I was thinking, it would actually fit perfectly if we got the death card, because we've gone through so much change and upheaval over the past several months that would
Oh
be
yeah,
the perfect opener for this one. So it's interesting to see that's the first one you pulled as well.
it is.
Maybe I'm sending my own hopes and fears into it into the reading. But yeah, it's been really fun. I came on board in January. It's now
Yep.
April, so we're 4 months in, or almost 4 months in, and it has been an absolute blast. I've
Good.
especially loved putting together content for our social media. So of course, you know that we advertise our books on there. But if you check out the other content, we offer a couple of videos twice a week with some random tips or motivation or wisdom from the elders. And we also have those on TikTok. So if you want to follow us on TikTok, we are trying to build our following there. We did reach a huge milestone just last week or the week before. We have now over 1,000 followers on Facebook, so it's great to see that the community is so welcoming towards us and building us up so quickly.
Yes,
And
indeed.
that Six of Coins fits right in with that, because without our community, none of this would be possible. So we have some amazing support out there from the Correllians in the community, but just the pagan community in general, too.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, now 3 cards for you.
Okay.
We have the 5 of Swords, the World, and the 10 of Cups, which is a very interesting combination. 5 of Swords is conflict, often internal conflict, sometimes external. But I would take it to say that perhaps you have conflicting feelings about things that are happening in your life at this time.
Generally, I do.
Um,
Trying to decide whether or not I'm making the right decisions, constantly arguing with myself. That's just my continuous state of mind.
well, the World is basically good fortune, success, and happiness. 10 of Cups is happy family, happy home life, happy stability. Everything else looks really good. So it's a matter of not freaking yourself out.
I'm so good at doing that, though.
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
And let's draw one more. And I've drawn the 3 of Coins, and the 3 of Coins is mastery of craft, mastery of ability. So it says you're doing the right things and going and building the skills and using the skills that you need. And so I would say that, again, the only thing that seems amiss at this moment is perhaps second guessing or otherwise being in conflict about the things that you're doing that are actually right. So don't do
Yeah. I try not to, but and I try to remind myself at the end of the day that I've put in a lot of work today. I have moved
that.
forward on my business plan, on my plans for volunteering with Correllian Publishing, and I can only do so much in one day, so I need to
Yeah.
be proud of what I've accomplished that day and not worry about the things that are still left to be done.
Well, that's true. It's we
Excellent
do what
reading,
we can
very
do and we
accurate.
keep going. And hello to Nikki in the chat room. It's good to see you, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki. And if anyone in the chat would like a reading, just jump in and post that. You can either post a specific topic or question or just ask for a general cold reading, whichever you'd like.
Yep.
And
And I will also be on Tarot Thursday tomorrow night. So if you are watching this later and want a reading, but you're not here now, you can catch me then at 9 p.m. Central on this same platform and many others. And Reverend Mary and I will be doing these little readings all hour long.
that's going to be amazing.
It's interesting.
And if anyone would like a private reading with Reverend Don, you can find all of those available at CorrellianPublishing.com. And you can also schedule a reading with Reverend Mary Hawk or Reverend Brian Ellicott, and we will be happy to arrange that for you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, other than that, what I'd like to hear from everyone who's listening tonight is if you have any ideas for topics of informational content that we can add to our social media. Currently, we're working on a series of carousel posts. This is a carousel post is where there are multiple images that you can scroll through or swipe through, and you can get a little piece of information on each one. So we're currently going through the 5 mystic secrets, and each Monday we are showcasing one of those secrets through a carousel post so that you can get basically the shortened version of what is available in 5 mystic secrets. And if you're interested in purchasing what we call the Rosetta Stone of Correllian tradition, you can find that at CorrellianPublishing.com or on Amazon in both ebook and in paperback format. And I really love that one just because it's available in so many different languages.
That is fun, and the more languages we can do as we go forward, I think the happier we'll all be. And Mary has asked for a quick general reading.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mary.
So I am shuffling the cards. You can't tell, but I am. And we will draw 3 cards for Mary. And we have the 3 of Cups, Temperance, and the Wheel of Fortune. So 3 of Cups is our first card, which is happiness in community. The aspect of being happy with people is an important part of the card. It's not only your own happiness, but it's happiness shared and multiplied. So a very good place to start. Temperance says that Mary is building new things out of old things. It's a card of personal transformation. It's a card of revitalizing or recombining things that you already have into new things that are different from what they were, even though they're created from things that were already at hand. And then the Wheel of Fortune is help from the universe and getting what you've worked for. So I would say Mary should find herself in a very good position. I'm going to draw 1 more card for her. And I've drawn the King of Wands, and the King of Wands is passion. And I would say Mary is going to find herself feeling very good about the things that she's doing. And it is a time of transformation, a time of moving forward, and a lot of happiness around her.
That's wonderful to hear.
There you go. Yeah. That was a nice reading.
Yes.
I like it when they're that way.
Yes, I'm very curious if you could tell us, Mary, in the chat, if that resonated with you, if how that reading sits with you. Yeah, just share your thoughts on it. And while we're waiting for that information, I'd like to show just one more thing here. If you sign up for the weekly spell, which is our version of the daily spell on CorrellianPublishing.com, you can do that by going to our website and scrolling down to the bottom of the page. On any of our pages, you can find a place to enter your email address to subscribe to the weekly spell. And every single week you will get in your email inbox the weekly spell of that week. And this one is from a couple of weeks ago, the weekly spell 12. This was just before the solar eclipse. So this goes out at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays. This particular one we sent out at 6 a.m. Eastern time. And the reason we sent it out so early was because we wanted people to be able to use it to prepare for the solar eclipse that took place on that Monday. So every time you open up the weekly spell, it will start with a quick introduction about everything that we're going to cover in this week's edition. Then we will have a spell of the week. This particular week, it was Eclipse Alchemy. So you were able to draw in the dynamic power of the solar eclipse and channel that into a spell. And we gave as well of course, at every time we always have discount codes that are available for our subscribers to the weekly spell. We also include a numerology lesson. So this one was on the number 12. And we also added in information on solar eclipses and their numerology. Then we gave ways to incorporate the number 12 into different magical practices. We always include some very cool artwork with the weekly spell. There's always an astrology lesson as well. So this one is understanding eclipses in the astrological chart. So if you were born during an eclipse or a very significant life event happened during an eclipse, you can take a look at your astrological chart and determine what kind of impact that solar eclipse had on your event or your birth or your personality. And we've included all of that information in this particular lesson. We also include a tarot lesson each time. This particular one, because it was a solar eclipse, we focused on the sun card and talked about eclipse energy and how to use the solar eclipse in your tarot readings to enhance and make them more powerful. And then, of course, scattered throughout, you'll find some discount codes. This one in particular is for Reverend Don's readings. So you can receive 5% off one of his readings, any one that you'd like. After that, we have a bonus lesson. This one was how to craft a solar eclipse spell pouch. We always include some kind of arts and crafts thing at the very end of it because, of course, as pagans, we love arts and crafts. So you'll always get a little bonus lesson at the very end with that. This is something we've just recently added within the past few editions. And of course, if you're interested in receiving any of the old editions, feel free to contact us at Correllian.publishing@gmail.com. We'll be happy to send those out to you. Just let us know which edition you would like. Or if you'd like one that's on a particular topic, just let us know and we'll find that one for you. This one also had some special excerpts from the Beltane Blessings and the Wisdom of Rhiannon book, as well as that discount code again. So feel free to take a look, sign up at Correllianpublishing.com, and you can receive the weekly spell every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do include that spell. We do post a shortened version of that spell the following Saturday on our social media. So even if you're not interested in getting the weekly spell in your email inbox, if you follow us on social media, you'll still get that bonus spell every week.
Wonderful. And in response to the question of whether the reading resonated for her, Mary says, "Oh yes."
Oh, wonderful.
And thank you so much. And I actually got chills as Lord Don was speaking, and it's 84 degrees here in Florida, which is very gratifying. Thank you, Mary. I'm glad it was helpful for you.
And nice to cool you down a little bit too on such a warm day.
I'm looking forward to seeing Mary when I believe she's coming for illustration, which will be wonderful.
Oh, that will be so nice. I will watch the replay online, so from here in the Netherlands. But I will be sending my positive energy and my support as Correllians gather from all around the world for this.
Yes, indeed. It will be a lovely time. With that, I see that we've come to the end of our half hour. Thank you, Krys, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yesterday, we talked about the importance of public ritual. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about global ritual. So please feel free to join us for that program. And on Friday, we'll have our weekly roundup. And now we will close with our prayer, as we always do. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we ask you to help us to express our message in the world, whatever it may be. Help us to express ourselves. Help us to find our happiness and to make our path in the most positive ways possible. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for this and for all that you do for us. And knowing you are always with us, but from respect, we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always. And we thank you for your presence. May you be blessed now and always, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Blessed be.